In Japan, there is a quiet understanding that flows through our daily lives, Ishokudojin. It means that food and medicine share the same source. For centuries, we haven't viewed aging as a battle to be fought, but as a natural journey to be embraced. I am here today, not as a doctor, but as a silent observer walking beside you on this path to recovery. I know the road can be difficult. The stiffness in the morning, the knees that protest with every step, these are not just symptoms. They are your body's way of whispering for help, asking to be rebuilt from within. Today we will answer that call not with expensive treatments, but with 6 humble, inexpensive foods that have strengthened our people for generations. Before we begin this journey of healing, take a moment to pause and breathe. What time is it right now, where you are, and which corner of the world do you call home? Please let us know in the comments below. If you are ready to nurture your body and find strength in simplicity, I invite you to subscribe and support our channel. Let's discover the power of eating like the Japanese together. The ocean's forgotten gem, fish, skin and scales. In our modern fast-paced world, we have developed a habit of seeking convenience above all else. We walk into supermarkets reaching for the perfectly trimmed fillets, the skinless cuts, the sanitized versions of food that have been stripped of their natural essence. In doing so, we unknowingly discard one of the most precious gifts the ocean has to offer for our aging bodies. This brings us to our first and perhaps most surprising secret to joint health: fish skin. In Japan, there is a concept that permeates every aspect of life called motai nai. It is a sense of deep regret concerning waste, a belief that every part of a life given to sustain us must be honored and utilized. When a Japanese chef prepares a fish, the skin is not trash, it is a treasure. Why? Because locked within the shimmering scales and the slippery texture of fish skin is a dense reservoir of type 1 collagen. Let us pause for a moment to understand why this matters to you. As we age, the collagen in our bodies, the glue that holds us together, begins to deplete. Our joints become like dry machinery grinding without oil. Science tells us that marine collagen is unique. Its molecular structure is smaller and more delicate than the collagen found in cows or pigs. This means it is highly bioavailable. It slips easily into your bloodstream, traveling efficiently to repair the cartilage in your knees, hips, and fingers. It is nature's most efficient delivery system for healing. I carry a vivid memory of visiting a small fishing village in Hokkaido years ago. I watched the elderly fishermen there, men and women in their 80s, working on the docks in the biting cold. Their hands were weathered by the salt and wind, yes, but their movements were fluid. They mended nets with nimble fingers and walked the slippery decks with steady knees. I asked a local woman about their diet, and she smiled, pointing to a pot of soup where fish heads and skins were simmering. "We eat the whole fish," she said softly. "The skin keeps our skin strong, and the bones keep our bones strong." It was a simple truth, unburdened by complex medical terms, yet entirely accurate. For you, incorporating this into your life does not require living by the sea. It simply requires a small shift in perspective. When you buy salmon, mackerel, or cod, choose the cuts with the skin on. Do not peel it away. If the soft texture is difficult for you to enjoy, there are delicious ways to prepare it. You can make salmon skin chips, lightly salted and baked until they are golden and crisp like a cracker. It becomes a savory snack that heals you with every bite. You can find these affordable cuts at your local Asian market or the seafood counter of any American grocery store. Often fish trimmings and skins are sold for pennies, or sometimes they are even discarded. Ask your fishmonger for them. It is a humble ingredient, cheap and overlooked, but its power to restore your mobility is immense. From the deep, cold waters of the ocean, let us now walk onto the land. We go to the farm to find strength in something familiar, widely available, yet often completely misunderstood in the Western diet. The strength of flexibility. Chicken wings and cartilage. In many Western households, the chicken breast is king. It is white, lean, and easy to cook. But if your goal is not just to feed your hunger, but to silence the creaking in your knees and bring a youthful fluidity back to your movement, you must look elsewhere. You must turn your attention to the parts of the bird that are designed for motion: chicken wings and cartilage. Think for a moment about the wing of a bird. It is an engineering marvel designed for constant, repetitive motion. It must be strong enough to lift the bird's weight, yet flexible enough to change direction in an instant. To sustain that incredible movement, nature has packed the joint skin and cartilage of the wing with high concentrations of chondroitin glucosamine and hyaluronic acid. If you have ever bought expensive joint supplements at the pharmacy, these names will sound familiar. But here in the humble chicken wing, they exist in their most natural, absorbable form. In a traditional Japanese kitchen, there is a different kind of wisdom at play. You might see a clay pot simmering quietly in the corner on a low flame. Inside chicken wings, specifically the tips and the mid-joints, are cooked slowly, affectionately. They are not rushed. Over time, the meat falls away from the bone, and the broth turns rich, golden, and sticky. When you let that broth cool, it turns into a jelly. That gelatinous texture is not grease. It is pure melted collagen. It is the very essence of flexibility that your body is craving. I recall a grandmother I once knew, a woman of few words but great vitality. She would never let a chicken wing go to waste, and she had a particular fondness for the crunchy cartilage at the end of the bones. She would say to us, "Eat the cartilage, child. It is the cushion for your life." At the time, it sounded like old folklore. But now, modern science confirms she was right. Eating the connective tissue of the bird helps rebuild the connective tissue in us. It is as if, by consuming the flexibility of the wing, we impart that same flexibility to our own stiffening joints. To bring this healing tradition into your American kitchen, I urge you to look beyond the deep fryer. Fried wings may be tasty, but the high heat destroys the delicate proteins we need. Instead, embrace the slow cooker. Simmer chicken wings with a little ginger water and perhaps a splash of vinegar for hours. Let the gentle heat extract every ounce of healing compounds. You can find family packs of chicken wings at Walmart, Costco, or any local butcher. They are often one of the most affordable proteins available. When prepared with patience and intention, this modest meal becomes a powerful medicine, restoring the cushion in your knees and the ease in your step. Speaking of slow cooking and extracting the essence of food, this leads us naturally to the soul of every healing kitchen. It is a liquid gold that has comforted generations, warming the body from the inside out. The liquid gold of longevity. Bone broth. If there is one scent that defines a healing home, it is the aroma of soup simmering on the stove. This brings us to the third pillar of our journey, a food that is as ancient as cooking itself, yet frequently overlooked in our age of instant meals: bone broth. In Japan, the foundation of almost every meal is dashi, or soup stock. While fish stock is common, there is a deep reverence for the richer, denser broths made from the bones of animals, pork, beef, or chicken. We do not see a bare bone as the end of the animal's life. We see it as the keeper of its deepest strength. Marrow, collagen, calcium, magnesium, all the minerals that once supported the weight of a heavy animal, are locked inside. To access them, we need only one ingredient: patience. Bone broth is often called the soup for the soul, but medically speaking, it is the soup for the gut and the joints. As we age, our digestive systems often become more sensitive, struggling to break down heavy meats or complex vitamins. Bone broth solves this problem beautifully. Because it is simmered for 12, 24, or even 48 hours, the collagen breaks down into gelatin. This gelatin is incredibly easy to digest. It acts almost like a soothing balm, coating the lining of your stomach and healing your gut. And as the Japanese say, healthy intestines are the root of a long life. When your gut is healthy, your body can absorb the nutrients it needs to repair your knees and hips. I have a fond memory of winter evenings in the countryside. The cold wind would rattle the window frames, but inside the kitchen was a sanctuary of warmth. My mother would keep a large pot on the back of the stove, always simmering. She would toss in leftover bones from dinner, vegetable scraps, and water. It was a continuous cycle of nourishment. She used to tell me, "This broth is like a warm hug for your bones." Whenever I felt weak or my body ached from the cold, a bowl of that rich, savory liquid seemed to penetrate deep into my marrow, chasing away the chill and the pain instantly. It wasn't magic. It was the concentrated life force of the ingredients. Creating this liquid gold in your own home is an act of self-love. You do not need to be a master chef. Go to your local butcher shop or the meat department and ask for marrow bones or soup bones. They are often incredibly cheap because few people know how to use them. Place them in a large pot or a slow cooker, cover them with water, and add a splash of apple cider vinegar. This is a crucial step. The acid helps to leach the minerals and collagen out of the bone and into the water. Let it cook on low heat for a day. Forget about it. Let time do the work. What you are left with is a broth that heals, restores, and comforts in a way no pill ever could. We have spoken of the gifts from animals, the skin, the cartilage, and the bones. But true balance requires us to look towards the earth. Now we turn to a plant-based guardian that has protected the youthfulness of Japanese women for centuries. The plant-based guardian: tofu and soy products. When we talk about collagen, we usually think of animal products. But here is the twist in our story, a secret that explains why Japanese women often age with such grace and retain their mobility well into their later years. The secret lies in the humble soybean, tofu, miso, and natto. You might be wondering, but tofu doesn't contain collagen, does it? You are correct. Tofu does not contain collagen itself. Instead, it contains something perhaps even more valuable: genistein. This is a powerful isoflavone, a plant compound that acts like a guardian for the collagen you already have. Think of your body as a house. You can keep bringing in new bricks, collagen from fish and bone broth to repair the walls. But if there is a storm constantly destroying those walls, you will never finish the repairs. As we age, our bodies produce enzymes that break down our existing collagen faster than we can replace it. Genistein helps to block these destructive enzymes. It essentially puts a shield around your collagen, preventing it from deteriorating. Furthermore, it gently stimulates your body's own production of hyaluronic acid, keeping your skin plump and your joints lubricated. In Japan, soy is not a trend. It is a daily rhythm. A traditional breakfast almost always includes a small bowl of miso soup with cubes of soft tofu. It is a moment of mindfulness before the day begins. I remember watching my aunt, who was a dancer in her youth. Even in her 70s, she moved with an elegance that defied her age. She credited her flexibility to her daily bowl of natto fermented soybeans. While natto has a strong smell and sticky texture that challenges even some Japanese people, it is a powerhouse of vitamin K2 essential for directing calcium into your bones rather than your arteries. For those living in the West, you do not need to force yourself to eat natto if the taste is too strong. The aisles of American supermarkets are now filled with wonderful soy options. Look for organic, non-GMO tofu in the refrigerated section. It is inexpensive and incredibly versatile. Silken tofu can be blended into smoothies, while firm tofu can be grilled like a steak. Drink a glass of soy milk or simply add a spoonful of miso paste to your vegetable soup. By adding this plant-based guardian to your diet, you are not just feeding your body. You are protecting the investments you've made with the other foods we've discussed. You are ensuring that the collagen you consume stays with you, keeping you strong. We have secured the building blocks with bone and skin, and we have set up a defense system with soy. Now we need a binder, a special element that holds everything together found in the most perfect design of nature. The humble powerhouse eggs. Specifically, whites and membrane. In our search for health, we often look for the exotic, the rare, or the expensive. Yet sometimes the most perfect design of nature is sitting right in our refrigerator door. This brings us to our fifth essential food: eggs. But today, I want you to look at the egg differently, specifically at the whites and the membrane. We often focus on the yolk for its vitamins, but for your joints, the treasure lies in the clear, humble white. Egg whites are rich in proline and glycine, two critical amino acids. If collagen were a rope, these amino acids would be the individual threads that twist together to make that rope strong. Without them, your body simply cannot weave the collagen structure it needs to repair your cartilage. But there is a deeper secret here, one that even many chefs overlook. Have you ever peeled a hard-boiled egg and noticed that thin paper-like film between the shell and the white, that is the eggshell membrane? In the past, we peeled it off and threw it away. What a waste! That thin membrane is one of the only natural sources of collagen type 1, type V, and type X, a specific type found almost exclusively in cartilage. It also naturally contains glucosamine and chondroitin. It is, in essence, a complete joint supplement created by nature to protect the life inside the egg. I think of the meticulousness of a sushi chef making tamagoyaki, the rolled Japanese omelet. He treats every egg with respect, beating it gently, cooking it in thin layers. It is a reminder that simple food, when treated with care, becomes extraordinary. In Japan, we often eat eggs soft-boiled, or onsen tamago, slow-cooked in warm water, so the yolk is creamy and the white is silky. This gentle cooking preserves the delicate amino acids that high heat can destroy. For you, this is the easiest habit to adopt. Eggs are perhaps the most affordable superfood in any grocery store in America. When you boil an egg, try not to peel away every tiny bit of that membrane. Eating a little bit of it is good for you. Or simply enjoy more egg white-based dishes. Steam them into a savory custard like chawanmushi, or simply have them soft-boiled for breakfast. It is a small, inexpensive addition to your plate, but it provides the raw materials your body is desperate for to knit your joints back together. We have gathered all the materials, the bricks, the mortar, the protection, and the workers. But a construction site is silent without energy. We need a spark to start the process. And that spark comes from the sun-drenched orchards. The catalyst: citrus fruits. Vitamin C. Imagine you have a pile of wood and a fireplace, but no match. You cannot have a fire. The same is true for collagen in your body. You can eat all the fish skin, bone broth, and eggs in the world, but without this final ingredient, your body cannot turn them into living tissue. The final key to our puzzle is vitamin C found in citrus fruits. In Japan, we celebrate the yuzu, a fragrant citrus fruit that ripens in winter. We float it in our baths for healing and use its zest in our cooking. But biologically, its role is non-negotiable. Vitamin C acts as a catalyst. It is the biological on switch that tells your cells to take the amino acids from your food and weave them into collagen fibers. Without adequate vitamin C, the collagen synthesis process halts. Your body simply cannot repair itself. This explains why, in the old days, sailors who lacked fruit would suffer from joint pain and weak skin long before they got scurvy. Their bodies were falling apart because they couldn't make collagen. I recall the scent of yuzu in my grandmother's kitchen. She would never serve grilled fish without a wedge of citrus. She would grate the zest into her pickles. It wasn't just for flavor, it was wisdom passed down through generations. She understood that the sourness of the fruit balanced the richness of the meat and unlocked the nutrients within it. In America, you have an abundance of beautiful citrus lemons, limes, oranges, and grapefruits. They are cheap, bright, and available year-round. To harness this power, you don't need to take a synthetic pill. Simply squeeze fresh lemon juice into your water in the morning. Grate some lemon zest, the colorful outer skin, over your salads or your chicken soup. The heat of cooking destroys vitamin C, so always add it fresh right before you eat. It is the spark of life. It turns your meal from simple fuel into active medicine. Our culinary journey is now complete. We have traveled from the sea to the farm, through the patience of the soup pot to the brightness of the orchard. We have journeyed together today through a landscape of healing, traveling from the collagen-rich depths of the ocean with fish skin to the grounded strength found in chicken wings and cartilage. We have learned the art of patience through the simmering of bone broth, discovered the silent, protective embrace of soy, uncovered the hidden power within the humble egg, and finally ignited it all with the bright, vital spark of citrus. These ingredients are not instant miracles, nor are they expensive medical interventions. They are simply nature's answer to the passage of time. The philosophy of Ishokudogen reminds us that true healing is not a race to be won, but a gentle daily practice to be lived. It teaches us to treat our bodies not as broken machines, but as cherished gardens that simply need the right nourishment to bloom once again. My deepest wish for you is that your joints become strong enough to carry you to beautiful places, and that your spirit remains light enough to truly enjoy the journey. Aging is not the closing of a door, but the opening of a new chapter, one that can be lived with grace, vitality, and gratitude. I am curious which of these humble ingredients you will welcome into your kitchen first, so please share your thoughts and your own healing stories in the comments below. If our time together today has brought you a sense of peace or hope, please like this video and share it with a loved one, perhaps a parent or a friend who might need this message. I invite you to subscribe to our community so we can continue walking this path of natural living together. Until we meet again, eat well, live slowly, and take good care of yourself.